up, guys? How are we doing?
Good to see you.
Ryan, how you doing, man?
Been a while.
Yeah, it has.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
How you doing, man?
Roland, how you doing, man?
Good.
Huh?
504, that's
you
my
don't
high score on Crossy Roads.
35.72.
Really?
He's like top. I'm pretty much number one on the competition every day.
Wow.
Mandatory no.
Okay. I saw it. Roland's amazing. What's up, Kris Krohn here. I am pausing my own podcast to make sure that you have my cell phone number. Because as you're listening and thinking to yourself, man, I wish I could text Kris and ask him a real estate question or a business question, a marriage question, a health question, I got news for you. The phone number is right here. It's 385-217-3477. Save this in your phone and literally start texting me right now. Just drop your name and say, hey, Kris, it's whoever you are, and ask me a simple question. Let's go. We're trying to bake a cake. The question is, does this room have all the different recipes, like ingredients for the recipe? Are we still missing something, or do we have like an abundance here? Yeah, so I think the accounting piece is going to be really big. And then Carson, he's the president of my board. Our 10 most important companies, he manages those CEOs. And this last year he spearheaded CEO Boot Camp. And we're now in our full second rotation of that, halfway through that. And internally, we've been able to see a really dramatic difference. One, amongst just managers feeling seen and recognized and then learning skills that are beyond the skill sets that are really required to grow and run their departments. And it's leading to pushing them to want to succeed in their departments, way beyond their goals, because what they're hoping for is promotion and possibility in the future. CEO Bootcamp is it's really a hybrid of owners and managers come together because we're trying to rectify a huge problem. I perceive it as a huge problem in the world today. It's this awkward energy between the owner of a company, the founder, who is sometimes the CEO managing it, and all the employees that cause it. And there's this weird relationship where it's like, if we fail as a company, we know the owner eats it in the shorts. But if this owner wins in a really big way, if we collectively come together as a team and win, the owner gets a disproportionate reward. And that's the way the system is set up. But you have two types of capitalism. You have let's just go in, make a grundle of money and get out. We created massive value and we got a financial reward. Or it's no, there's a just cause behind something more meaningful that we're trying to create in the world. And what we perceive is part of the disconnect is owners don't know how to create a culture that excites their people to want to help the owner win, but the owner doesn't also know how to help their people win. A 401k is a lackluster replacement for a real authentic relationship where both sides are mutually benefited. In our company, we do it through profit share. And it basically says everyone starting at least at a manager level on up gets a piece of the winnings. And there's different ways of doing that, but culture isn't just built on money. It's built around the just cause, like Simon Sinek talks about in The Infinite Game. It's built around, why is it, for Gen Zers, why is it fun to be here? How does this build meaning for me? And how are you investing in my personal wins and not just my professional wins? Carson has done that brilliantly. He's implemented it. And there's a second layer that we're about to add that are for all employees, but CEO Bootcamp is really just for every manager. And we're saying, we're giving you financials. We're giving you sensitive information. We're going to tell you what's attractive in leaders and what's not attractive in leaders. We're going to help you. We're going to talk about your personal life. And if you don't get these things organized, you're not promotable, but no one's going to tell you that. No one, by the way, wants to promote someone who's 100 pounds overweight in a failing marriage that can't budget. If your personal act isn't together, you're not promotable. So we're actually just going to shoot straight. And almost every CEO Bootcamp conversation brings up these really awkward, uncomfortable conversations, and people are learning how to lead and embrace it. And what it's designed to do is for owners to finally, it's like you're never going to be free from being an operator unless you learn to trust your people, and you can't trust your people if you can't build an incentivization and leadership program that builds them up. And so CEO Bootcamp for us is a part of, I think it's a meaningful part of the solution of the Consult for Equity that does two things. The first thing it says is we don't want to provide one-on-one coaching in the beginning because it's time intensive, and we already know what the coaching is going to be on. It's going to be on these core business principles because you've got gaps. So instead, you're going to pay an initiation fee. In the first 90 days, we're going to dump you into a hardcore training program that is designed to fill in all of those gaps with all of your managers, and we're going to bring up all these conversations and give you guys meaningful things to talk about. Every one of my Consult for Equities that I've put through that, my phone and my texts stop.
Yeah.
And I checking out proactively with them. They're like, oh, I'm good. I've got more than enough to work on. And so it's solving two things. One is it's an efficient way for them to interact with other companies, industries, and learn and grow together. It's also an easy way to see who's in and out, like who's participating and not. But it's also a way in the beginning to say the heaviest load of coaching in any Consult for Equity deal, where people feel like they're getting their money's worth, happens in the beginning. And we've basically created a group methodology that solves for a lot of that. And then after that, it's actually, once you're in CEO bootcamp, that you've got a 90-day aggressive, but then the mastermind portion never ends, which is another really effective group methodology for continuing to help grow people. But at that point, the intention, best we've come up with, is to assign them a quarterback, a successful business owner that is no longer an operator, that actually gets paid a piece of the upside to actually help them scale and grow their companies, so that they're not focusing on the wrong things. Because so much Consult for Equity is either I have a problem that I need to solve, or I don't know the sequence that I'm supposed to be solving problems in. I'm building a website and it has nothing to do with whether I win more business or succeed or anything. Like it's just a pure waste of time, but no one's told them, right? So Carson's been heading that up, and we're about to just launch a partner mastermind, which is for all of the employees. And at least in the culture we've built, we find, we're trying to solve and address this mental health crisis. This is going to sound a little tangential, but if you have employees that are not happy and they don't get the culture and they don't feel like they belong to the team, then the owner's always going to have problems transitioning out of their company. And so we're in April launching another mastermind, and this is while CEO Bootcamp is for management, this is for all employees. And basically it's teaching at a very personal level, how do you succeed as just a human being in life at a personal level and at a professional level. And it's all about, we want you to be more promotable. We want you to excel at work. We want you to earn those promotions and actually have a path of progress in your career. And you can't have that unless you really get your house in order. And so that's an experiment. I'll be personally heading that one up. It's a weekly mastermind like CEO Bootcamp, but it is basically teaching basic skills like decision making. How do you arrive at making the decision? Your personal life, how do you build an attractive personality, top 12 qualities and characteristics, and how do you measure them and build habits around them? And a number of other things that it's like, wow, these things, will help you just be a good, happy human being that feels like you're growing. And we believe that this is essential to being promotable and becoming a more useful player professionally. So those are a couple of things that we're bringing in. And most of this strategy, different than I think what you guys are doing, which would make you very attractive partners, is on our side, we're focusing on all of the people that build the company by investing in every person at every level and management, so that the owner of the company can start seeing a vision that there's a way out of here, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but the secret isn't just in business ingenuity. It's in my people, and it's how I treat them, and it's by the vision and whether they can buy in. And that's a heavy lift, but that's a lift that gets us really passionate, excited. And in full disclosure, we use this in all of our companies. And I don't know if, the jury's still out, I don't know if the results are in, but every week we aggregate the wins, and everything is pointing to, this is it. This is a great way to develop human beings so that they can help the owner win, and they're now on the same team instead of this disproportionate reward system where it's really out of sync. And that's one of the reasons why owners can't escape the game.